Welcome to the opening day edition. I'm Jeff.
I'm Tom.
I'm Kim.
And this is the Three Old Reds Fans podcast coming to you once again from Studio 82 down the street from our good friends at Beans in the heart of Cedarville, also known as the famous birthplace and final resting place of Reds pitching legend Bumpus Jones. I think all our pitchers this year are better than Bumpus Jones was.
We think so.
I think so. So if you subscribe to us on your favorite podcast app or website or Spotify, thank you for being one of the most loyal Reds fans ever. And we do have an almost 5-star rating on iTunes. I'm not going to go into why that changed. There's somebody that's on my list.
The PR messed us up, didn't it?
Somebody went in and gave us a 1 and knocked us down to 4.5. So he's on the... Yeah, I'm not happy with him. Anyway. But please rate us. Kick us back up to a 5-star. If you get to like 4.75, I think it rounds you up to a 5. So we need some more. We need some more of that. Leave us a review. Helps more Reds fans find us, and we'll read your review on the next show. If you're not subscribing, get with it. If you really like us, go to our site on podbean.com, become a patron to help us with our equipment fund that will make this show even better than it already is.
That's hard to believe. It can't be.
Well, it can. Thanks to our newest followers on Podbean. Somebody called bball37_2006. I don't know who that is, but thank you. And somebody else whose screen name is KOMVJI. I don't know how to say that, but that's who they are.
Thanks for following.
Yes. And to my friend Mike Rowson, who you guys don't know, it's a guy I know. He clicked the like button on episode 37 and liked us.
Mike, we like you too.
And I think he's on that Facebook page too that we're all on, the Rounding Third, Heading for Home page. So we appreciate you guys' loyalty to the show. So this is episode 38, and any famous Reds wearing number 38?
Gary Nolan.
Gary Nolan.
It's the only one I know.
1967 and 1977. There's a current Red wearing number 38.
Really? Pitcher?
Nope. Silence. You guys are... Kurt Casale.
Oh, really?
First guy to wear number 38 for the Reds since Kip Wells in 2009. Other Reds you may know of that are names that ring a bell: Pete Harnish, Kent Merker, Jay Mr. Tibbs, Bruce Berenyi.
Bruce Berenyi.
Gary Nolan, as we mentioned. A bunch of names I don't know. Some guy named Elmer Riddle in the 40s. I just like the name Elmer Riddle. It's just a good name. Al Simmons played for the Reds a little bit. He's actually, I think, a Hall of Famer. Mostly a Cardinal. He wore number 38. Now, we failed to do it last week, or last month when we did our last show. We failed to do number 37. There is a current Red who's number 37. Pitcher. David Hernandez. Recent former opening day starter, Scott Feldman.
Don't go there. Norm Charlton.
Yes, Norm Charlton being the one that I immediately thought of as well. That's sort of the Corky Miller wore that number on occasion when he was up and down with the Reds. Norm Charlton, Stan Belinda, Derek Lilliquist, Greg Harris, Dave Tomlin, Dale Murray, Will McEnany, Wayne Granger. Rolling down the list here. That's here's one of my favorite Reds of all times: Peaches Davis, 1939.
You don't even know him. It's just his name.
I thought him
and Elmer.
If you told me Peaches Davis played in that All-American Girls League, I'd believe you.
There you go.
Very good. Very good.
For the Georgia Peaches.
The Rockford Peaches.
The
Rockford Peaches, Georgia. Yeah. Frank McCormick, who was a great Red as well, he wore that number back in 1938. So there we go. Before that, they didn't really wear numbers a lot, but anyway. So those are the numbers. So speaking of numbers, we have 25 guys on the roster now. The rotation is what we thought it would be, what we've been hearing: Castillo, Gray, Roark, DeSclafani, Molly, with Alex Wood on the DL, assuming he'll come back. No surprises there.
Nope.
Since we last met, the rotation order was set. Thoughts on that?
Well, Why don't you go ahead and say it? Why don't
What?
you go ahead and say it? You know what?
What did I say?
You know what?
What?
You're laughing. You already go ahead and say it.
What, did I predict that Castillo would be this?
Oh, that's right.
That's right. I did
that's
predict
right.
that. I also was in favor of it, but I also predicted it.
Oh,
Just like last year, I said Homer Bailey will be the opening day starter, and you go like,
All right,
no.
I heard.
It was.
By the way, Homer Bailey's made the rotation
For the Royals.
for the Royals.
Yeah, the Royals.
So you got Billy Hamilton and Homer Bailey.
Back to being a AAA team in Kansas
Gentlemen,
City.
on September the 6th, 2018, here was JG's prediction of the opening day.
September 6th?
Pitchers, ready?
Oh, well, yeah, this is before we had all these
Right,
guys.
I know,
Yeah,
but just how things change.
All right.
Homer Bailey,
Yeah, I thought they
Luis Castillo,
I figured he'd still be here.
Bob Steve,
Really?
Was this past fall?
September 18th?
September 6th, 2018, Tyler Molly,
Okay.
You
Well,
can't
Sal
deny this.
Romano.
all right. Well,
Now, obviously, we didn't have any of the pitchers in trade. The lineup:
I got two of the
Winker.
5.
Peraza, Votto, Suarez, Senzel at second,
Yeah, well, they
Hamilton?
screwed that up.
Barnhart behind the plate.
Yeah, well, we got rid of Billy.
Okay, how did we do?
You guys didn't do
We
it.
didn't. Say
Oh, we
anything.
didn't? Oh, okay.
I'm the only one with enough guts.
Oh, brother. So, I'm sorry Alex Wood isn't in the rotation, but,
Well, you will be.
hopefully this is just a very temporary thing. How about,
Unless this is like, unless they're talking to us like they always talk to us about DeSclafani. Oh, it's not that bad. Yeah, 2 years later,
Right.
we're looking for him to finally,
do we always only keep 4 outfielders?
probably.
Is that
Irvin's
normal?
not on the roster?
No.
No. Does
Wow.
that seem weird to you?
Well, if
Well,
you
but
follow
see-
Jeff's thinking that stats don't matter in the spring, no. But he had a great spring.
Yeah, I just mean it seems like
Well,
for
of the,
pinch hitting,
well,
that
they all-
Irvin would be better than one of these other guys.
Well, they also have. Well, let's get through that list. Well, okay, we'll jump to outfielders.
Lorenzen.
Kemp,
Yeah.
Puig, Schebler, and Winker, because
With Lorenzen, the wild card.
they sent Senzel to minor league camp, and we all know by now he's hurt his ankle and he's in a boot. All right,
2-week boot.
2-week boot. So who knows?
At least.
However, they do now. The infield there's more outfielders than you think because some of these other utility guys can play the outfield.
Who?
Derek Dietrich,
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
Kyle Farmer,
Can Kyle Farmer?
yes, and he's
Peraza
also
has played center, right?
yeah, but they're not.
Yeah,
gonna,
that's not
they're
gonna
not going to
happen. I
need
know,
it because they got 6 guys that can play in the outfield.
Good point.
They got 6 guys that can play in the outfield.
So Dietrich and Farmer are mainly infielders, but they can play outfield.
Yeah, well, I'd have to look up. I could look up Dietrich here.
Well, I mean, they're listed here as infielders.
Yes, they're listed as infielders. Dietrich's listed as a second baseman, left fielder, third baseman.
Okay.
So, he can do both. So last year for the Marlins, for instance, he played 33 games at first, 4 at second, 2 at second, 97 in left field. He's also had the year before though he played 103 games at third. The year before that he played 75 games at second.
Wow.
So
This Farmer?
No, this is
Dietrich.
Dietrich.
That's really a valuable guy.
So they've moved him around a
Marlins,
lot.
right?
Yeah, for the Marlins, it's a
I
good.
like the pickup.
It's a good pickup. So that's what they're doing there, and then Farmer is he's like a third catcher. Like I don't really think we need a third catcher, but he's there. That's his thing. Is he can play.
What's he
a lot of
listed
different
at?
positions. So what is Farmer listed at?
Yeah, what positions?
I can call it up here real quick. Baseball Reference. He's listed as a pinch hitter, third baseman, and catcher. As far as last year, he played. Get these appearances here. Well, he's only appeared in 59 big league games. 26 at third base, 34 times he's pinch hit, and he's caught 4 times. So
It'd be nice to have Irvin, even if it nothing but pinch running,
yeah. Well,
Something like
I mean, he
that.
just didn't fit. I mean,
rather than Farmer.
well, I can't disagree with that. I think Farmer's just more versatile position wise. I think that's
He's
why
the
they
third
did it.
catcher.
And he wouldn't be on the team if Scooter hadn't gotten hurt. I mean, I think he's the last guy on the team, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Barnhart and Casale are locks. Iglesias, Peraza, Suarez, and Votto were locks, and I think Dietrich was a lock. I think Farmer is in there for Jeanette.
I agree.
Instead of Senzel. So, because they made that choice.
We came out of spring training with 8 pitchers, but I know the first 2 weeks usually have a lot of breaks.
You mean the
we have 8 pitchers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
There's 13 pitchers.
Oh, I'm looking at the bullpen. Sorry.
Yeah, there's
8 plus 5, 13.
13. Molly's going to start. He's going to take a normal 5th start because I think it would only work out that
maybe 2.
He might get 2. He'll get a couple starts at least, and then if Wood comes back when he's supposed to, that's probably it. But who knows? One of these other guys could get hurt in the meantime. I mean, we got DeSclafani out there. Cross your fingers.
All right, so the big debate has been on Senzel, whether to keep him or not. And one of us wanted the Reds to keep him. The other two of us wanted him to be in a Reds uniform longer.
Logical.
How long does he need to be in the minors? Have you read anything on?
It's just a couple days.
Oh, it's really only
a couple
11
weeks.
days. Now, because he's on the injured reserve, is he still considered in the minors?
Who? Senzel?
He's not on the injured reserve though.
Well, they sent him to minor league camp, and they'll put him on the minor. He'll be on the minor league disabled list.
I think.
Does that count as service time or not?
No.
The service time is in the majors.
No, I don't mean that. I mean.
He was already sent to minor league camp. He was already cut from the major league team before he got hurt. He got hurt in a minor league game. It does not count.
So really, he may never play in a minor league game. If he comes back healthy, he could come back directly to the Reds.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
And Kim, you and I would be happy because most likely the 11 days would be taken care of.
Yeah. So, all right. Dick Williams said, "This is not a service time decision."
Yeah, but it's baloney.
Liar. I don't believe that for a second.
I don't.
Do you believe that?
Not in a heartbeat.
No.
But I think a lot of Reds fans are buying it. I've seen stuff on Twitter. People are buying. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Maybe it wasn't his only factor, but it had to be a big factor.
So here's the other thing that I find curious. I don't know how they're going to talk their way in and out of this. Schebler, and I love Scott Schebler.
You've been known.
They said Schebler won the center field job. Are they going to bring Nick Senzel back in 3 or 4 weeks whenever he's healthy and put him in center field and say, sorry, Scott, you won the job. Now we're going to give it to this guy? Which would totally be like, okay, it was a service time thing. Because if he didn't just win, he didn't go to AAA and play in 6 or 7 games, and all of a sudden now he's a much better center fielder than he was today. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Am I making any sense?
Oh, if they put him out in center field, then they've been lying out their mouth.
I think the thing stands out about Senzel is not so much his position, it's getting his at-bats on the big team. So to answer your first question, I believe it was service time. Now, obviously, you know how my thoughts are. I believe it's the right decision. 11 days you don't have him. Forget the injury a second. 11 days you don't have him versus an extra 162 games. To me, it's an easy decision.
Yeah, but
like the CBA or not, it's a smart move for the best part of your organization.
By the time the next CBA, by the time that comes around, it might be completely out of the CBA.
It might be, but it's not
But
right
won't he
now.
be grandfathered?
Probably not. I don't know. I don't know if they'll They could grandfather him. That's possible.
And then so let's say he comes back and Schebler's benched. I understand it. Schebler has shown over about 3 years, 2 maybe 3,
he had 30 homers
that
2 years
he can get on a streak, but he still hasn't hit in the 270 range overall.
You look at a lot of other stats. His value is he's an above average offensive player. Despite what you think about batting average, overall he has been an above average offensive player in the major leagues.
Let me just put it this way then. Senzel or Schebler, who would you rather play?
Well, right now, I guess I don't know.
All things being equal, there's no injuries or anything. I'd rather have Senzel.
I want him on the team playing. I want them both playing. I want them not having to feel like we got to have these three guys every night in the outfield.
What I would do is I'd let Senzel in left, Shebler in center, Puig in right, and then I'd let Kemp just go left field, right field.
What about Winker?
Oh, yeah, where are you going to put him?
Here's the funny part.
Yeah, exactly.
You heard who the backup center fielder is right now.
Well, they've said
Jesse Winker.
I don't know if he's the quote-unquote backup, but yes, I've read the articles. They
said that.
He played a couple of innings one game, and people are having a cow.
So, Jesse Winker is good enough to be the backup center fielder playing a couple innings in one game, but Nick Senzel isn't good enough to be the center fielder having played it all winter and all spring training.
That's why we know that's.
We know
he's never taken a major league at bat.
But we know, but we know Nick Senzel's a better athlete than Jesse Winker
by far.
So I'm just saying, there's a whole lot of stuff being said.
There's a lot of coach speak.
There's a whole bunch of stuff being said that I don't buy.
Yep, agreed.
So, and I'm fine, and I'm not big on this. Oh, you got to have the 25 best guys on the roster because you got to think about because we got Robert Stevenson.
You used to say said that.
Wait,
you can't be a flipper.
No, I'm not flipping.
Flopper? What is it? Flipper?
Flipper.
Flopper's
when he plays basketball.
It was like, I think yesterday was International Waffle Day, so we could use that.
Whopper?
I'm a waffler. You say that, but that doesn't really ever happen because look at the bullpen. They kept Robert Stevenson. Because he didn't have any options left. Two guys that got sent to the minors, Cody Reed and Sal Romano, have both proven more at the major league level than Robert Stevenson. So part of that is, though, that you're going to need more than 8 relievers all year. And if you keep Reed and Romano and you cut Stevenson, he's gone. So then and if you think Stevenson is one of your top 10, that's why you do this, because then you don't have to go to your 11th or 12th guy when you have an injury. So I guess that's why that happened. But anyway, I just wish they'd have brought it. What I think I should have done, I could have almost lived. The outfield thing, I wasn't going to lose sleep over it. But when Scooter got hurt and he's out for like 3 months, we're going to have Jose Iglesias in the lineup every day when we could have had Nick Senzel in the lineup every day.
That's a big drop in offense.
That could be Nick Senzel hasn't played in major leagues yet, but I think we all agree that Nick Senzel is probably going to be a better hitter than Jose Iglesias.
Except when's the last time Nick Senzel has played second base?
All last year.
Time he's had a major league at bat.
All last year. All last season when he was healthy.
But okay, bigger picture.
Anyway.
This is only a short-term matter.
I know. I'm gonna live.
Why do you say that?
Because Senzel's going to get healthy.
Okay, but then it's not a short-term matter because what do you do with him when he's healthy?
You're going to bring him up eventually, and he's going to be out.
And where's
there
he
going to
play?
Field. He's going to be out there in center field.
And they're going to.
You guys are convinced they're going to play in center field.
Yeah, and what?
Tom, let me ask this.
Here's
Tom,
what I hope
happens. How
happens.
could you say after what we've seen in spring training? How could you say that will not be where he's playing?
Because that's where they're grooming him for now.
Yeah, I guess that's since they've been grooming him for that. I don't know where else he would, but who do you sit down?
Well, you're probably going, and I think Puig, you're not going to sit down probably,
right.
And it's going to be a rotation in left field between Winker and
Kemp.
Thank you, Kemp.
But Winker will play the most. Kemp will play some.
I'll tell you what, not getting at bats every day, it's hard to stay sharp.
I agree. And how do you get better against a lefty on lefty or righty on righty matchup if you don't play?
And how do you your top prospect?
That's what they did to Paul O'Neill, back in the day.
And your top prospect not getting at bats. I mean, he's never hit in major leagues yet, and now you're going to have him up there part time.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's hard.
Who, Senzel?
Yeah,
he won't be part time.
I think he'll play every day
They'll find a spot for him, whether it's at second, whether it's in left field or in center. He'll be getting consistent at bats.
Well, have you seen any signals on that from Bell or Dick Williams?
No.
That he's going to be an everyday player this year?
No.
And why do you guys think he will be?
Because just the talent level that he has and how he's excelled at every level, you just got to find a spot for that.
But he's never taken a major league at bat.
I think
Put him in the starting lineup.
You have to at some time.
I think if he plays 3 out of 4 days somewhere, I think that's good enough.
So let me ask Tom, because Tom's obviously believes in it strongly. So Tom, let's say Senzel's not injured. Okay, at what point do you put him in the lineup?
Well, I guess I was going to say usually you let these guys come up at the end of the year to get their first major league at bats and play the last month or two.
Okay, so would you
when it doesn't matter?
No injury with Senzel? Would you do that now?
I don't think I would. I think I'd leave him down.
Wow.
And let's see how the big league team does with what we got.
On our over/under segment later, if that's the case, that I'm going lower number.
I think if he's, I think he needs to be up there playing, and that's why I'm like they're just playing around.
How many AAA at bats did he get last year?
So what? I don't care. Get him up there, see what he can do.
Well, it's not like we need him.
I think we
do now with Scooter out. That's why they should have brought him in.
That is a big deal. Scooter being out with.
All right, and Scooter wasn't hurt. He would be up no worse than mid to late April. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. Anyway, it's just
here's
the thing. It's like I think we're all really happy with this off season and the things they've done to try to make this team better. And we just have this one kind of thing hanging over their head. What do they do with Nick Senzel? That's sort of the thing hanging over their head. What are we going to do with that guy?
I read from his 3 years at Tennessee, his first couple of years in the minors, not hurt at all. And in the past year or so,
no one tries to be hurt,
No,
poor guy.
It just happens. It happens. So, okay, so let's. I'm worn out after all that.
After the Nick Senzel,
Shebler for him.
I'm gonna have to go in a boot. In terms of, so we talked about rotation, we talked about infield and outfield, right? And we hinted at the bullpen a little bit. The bullpen is Zach Duke, lefty, Amir Garrett, lefty, David Hernandez, Jared Hughes, Raisel Iglesias, Michael Lorenzen, Wandy Peralta, lefty, that's the one that I'm not sure about, and Robert Stevenson. So, yeah, the last two guys in a bullpen are probably question marks most of the time.
So Peralta and Reed. Would you have kept Cody Reed?
I'm not a fan.
So you'd have kept Peralta instead of Cody Reed?
Yeah.
Because Peralta had a rough year last year.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Now that he's been good in spring, maybe that means something. Maybe he's figured some stuff out. But he's really only had one really good stretch as a Red. Like one and a half good months. Other than that, he's been very average or below average. So we'll see. But Reed and Romano are going to pitch in the majors this year. It's a matter of time. They will. Guys will get hurt. Somebody will be terrible. It'll happen. That's what I figure.
It's negative. That's negative.
Well, no, it's not negative. It's just the way baseball seasons go.
That's the way the Red seasons have gone.
Everybody has injuries.
Injuries, yes.
Everybody has
awful
injuries.
Starting pitching. That's the Reds.
That's the Reds. Yes. So Bob, Steve, I think it's all because of they just weren't willing to cut him loose.
I know.
They just weren't quite ready to give up on him. And if they see something suddenly that they think is a reason, fine. But I tell you what, I think he's got to. If he doesn't have a good month of April, they've got to cut bait on that. I think it's like,
How many chances do you give?
Yeah, because you how it is. There'll be a couple games where you've had, even with our improved starting pitching. Here, I'm not being negative. I'm just talking about what happens in baseball sometimes. There'll be a couple days where you got to use a lot of bullpen.
Yeah.
And then you've got game 3 on Sunday afternoon against the Cubs. It's 3-2 in the 6th or the 7th, and you got to bring in Stevenson. And if he can't pitch in those situations, then we need to get somebody else up here who can.
Well, he's definitely at the end of the rope.
I don't think he's the last. I think he's at the end of the ball. I think he's the mop-up guy. I think he's the longer, early third or fourth inning. We got to get Roark out of there, or whoever. Mm-hmm. The rare occasion, hopefully, that happens this year, but it will. So,
or maybe we'll adopt the Milwaukee Brewers mentality and we'll be putting relievers in fifth inning.
Yeah.
Well, you got their pitching coach, right?
Right. And they've talked about, Iglesias not just being a ninth inning guy. So
right.
Coming in high leverage situations.
All right. So, in order for the Reds to compete this year, who on this roster really have to step up? I mean, I would say it's the starting pitching always.
You mean step up from past performances?
Who do we need to show up this year? Joey needs to be Joey. We need him above 300 again this year.
He needs to be...
And driving in runs.
He doesn't necessarily have to be finished second in the MVP voting, Joey, but he's got to be...
He needs to be RBI Joey.
Because
he really wasn't.
He might bat second. He's been batting second a lot.
Noticed, again, spring stats, I get it, Jeff, but I noticed this probably about 4 or 5 games ago, his batting average was 170s. His OBP, 479.
Yeah, he's walking a lot.
You wouldn't think he would walk as much in the minors.
He is going to get on base in spring training. Well, he's in mid-season form, right?
Yeah.
But Joey's got to be Joey. Our starting pitching has to step up.
I think Puig has to have a big year.
Yeah, we need and Scooter needed to be Scooter too, right? This hurts us with 3 months.
I say with the guys we had last year and the guys we picked up this year, stay healthy.
Yeah,
we're already behind the 8 ball on that. But if those guys can stay healthy, and we don't have a big dip from these guys like Scooter, we don't have a dip from Peraza. Peraza, great improvement last year. We don't have a dip from these guys.
Yeah, no dips.
Winker, keep doing like you've been doing, but stay healthy. I think that's our key.
And 3 starting pitchers that stay solid all year, right?
Yep.
Well,
how many years has it been since we've had 3 guys?
Was it 2012?
Stay solid.
Yeah, it's the last time they were a playoff team.
Right.
So, that's for sure.
You're never going to have all the starters stay solid, but you kind of need a group of 3 of them, Yeah,
it would be nice.
That year we had 4.5, roughly.
Yeah.
It would be nice. So, I think the bench will be better, and I think that will help. That's worth
yes
3 or 4 games somewhere along the line.
Yes.
Because I think Dietrich is shown to be a very productive hitter, and will get some big hits for him. I think Suarez will be fine. I think Peraza will be fine. I think Votto will be better. I don't know that he'll be vintage Votto, but he'll be good. I think one guy who's getting overlooked who could really, especially in the first half of the season, could really help this team offensively is Kemp. I think yes, he had one good half season in the last few. He had a lot of injuries. He seems healthy. He's always been a good hitter. He's 34, but he's not super. He's not ancient. He's still young enough that guys who are really talented still usually hit pretty well at that age. And he was certainly one of the more talented players in baseball in his early to mid 20s. I think there's I wasn't been surprised if they'd have traded him before started the season. I don't think it's going to happen now.
He's probably still trade bait during the season.
He still is, but I think he could swing a hot bat at times and be a big and be very pleasant surprise.
Agreed.
I think
it's
possible.
Off the bench, right?
I agree. It's a better hitter. He's going to be more productive as a hitter.
One guy we haven't talked about, Suarez. He could go off and have an MVP type of year.
Well,
he's got that ability.
For a good part of last year, he did.
Right. He's got that ability.
Yep.
So,
actually, in some of the metrics, I think
he was just talked for the Triple Crown.
Just to point out how good of a second half plus, a little more than a second half, that Peraza had. In some different metrics, he was better than Suarez over that period.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, not as many RBIs, not as many home runs, but he did hit a number of home runs. But in an overall,
he didn't strike out.
In an overall offensive sense, he was a better overall player.
Why? we're talking about a leadoff hitter, and I thought last year Winker performed much better in the 5-hole than the leadoff hole. Peraza did really good in the leadoff slot. Why aren't we hearing about Peraza being a leadoff batter?
I don't know, but I think
that surprises me.
Has he hit leadoff?
It's on base.
Last year?
It's on base.
No, I mean in the spring.
You can't just go by batting average. You got to look at on base, and I think those guys, Votto and Winker, are better on base guys than Peraza. And so
I'm just looking at results from last year. Peraza performed. Strikeouts were low. Got on base. Good speed. Winker produced much better in the 5-hole.
But he doesn't get on base as much as Winker.
Not too many people do, Jeff.
Right. So if you've got a guy who gets on base like that, that's been my contention that he should be in the top of the order. That's a small sample size to say he can't hit leadoff and he's only a 5-hole hitter. He didn't get that many at bats last year, but we do know no matter what he got on base a lot. No matter where he batted, he did get on base.
And if Votto's not the RBI and power guy he used to be, you might as well put him in that 2 spot.
Well,
right?
I think they had him in the right spot at 2. I don't think he's that guy in the past, and we talked about this a couple of years ago when you knew it's coming.
I mean, Peraza last year had he's 326 on base.
You looking at Winker?
Yeah, which isn't terrible. It's probably right around league average.
Say it was Winker?
It's probably right around league average.
What was Peraza?
That was Peraza, 326.
Well, he asked if it was Winker, and you said yeah.
No, he says, are you looking up Winker?
Yeah, what's Winker?
Sorry.
And Winker was 405. I mean, that's
significant.
That's significant. I mean, if it was a difference of 10 points with some speed for Peraza, I would agree with you, but he's going to bat up there. I mean, it's been shown all through the spring here and late in the spring. He's going to bat up there.
So, what are you thinking? Winker, Peraza, Votto, 1, 2, 3.
No, I think Votto's been batting second. I think Peraza's going to be a 7-hitter.
Okay, down lower in the lineup.
And then I'm guessing Suarez in the 3-hole.
Yeah, Puig's probably going to bat fourth now.
Right.
Fifth will be like Schebler or Kemp.
Scooter when he comes back.
Schebler or Kemp right now, and then you're going to see.
They'll probably put Scooter fourth, so you have the right left.
Yeah.
Then put Puig fifth.
They could do that, and I think it's going to be different a lot. I've seen Bell say that it's not going to be the same lineup every day by any means. I don't think they're just going to make changes, but they're going to try to take advantage of whatever the numbers, the charts tell them to take advantage of.
Well, let's get healthy so we have these difficult decisions to make.
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't the same difficult decisions last year?
Peraza will probably bat sixth right now. They'll probably put Barnhart, and then it'll be Barnhart and Iglesias batting 7, 8. I don't know how they'll do it. Iglesias might bat 8th. Barnhart might bat 7th right now. But I think I would guess Peraza will be 6th, unless because Jeanette's out, they decide to move him up and shift the power guys down a spot because
you could put Peraza 9th.
So we'll see our pitchers batting in the 9-hole a lot more than the 8-hole this year.
Yeah. And sadly, they will still be batting. I never miss an opportunity to stump for the DH. Next year, baby. Next year.
Yeah, I think there's a good shot.
So that's so.
We'll use aluminum
and
bats.
Tom, as much as you and I are purists and we'd rather have the pitchers batting, with what we're discussing now and where to get this guy's lineup in, that would open the hole.
Yeah,
it would.
It would. You're right.
So we take advantage. We get there, we take advantage.
But why don't we use aluminum bats and wear one-piece uniforms too?
Well, that'd be kind of cool.
Let's just totally get away from it. We don't need brims on the hats either.
You're ridiculous.
One-piece uniform.
Unitards.
I was going to say shorts, but we've actually done that.
Bill Beck
uniforms. Oh my! All right, over under. If you're going to set an over under on Reds wins this year? What would the number be?
I say 82. Winning season. 1.5 better than what Sports Illustrated said.
One of our Pinch hitters on the podcast here, Mr. Helmick. He texted 82.
And I think I told everybody that Sports Illustrated predicted the Reds, I believe it was 80.5. They said they would finish ahead of Pittsburgh.
All the projection models out there have had the Reds right around 500, right around that 80, 81 thing. What do you think, Mr. Generette?
I'm going to predict it's not a number I like. I'm going to say 78.
Boo.
It's not a number I like.
Boo.
Last year we all had high numbers and we weren't even close.
Are you afraid of the injuries?
So what are you afraid of? What makes you come down below 500?
Right now, the start of the year with Senzel not there and Scooter hurt is a concern. Scooter being out, 4+ weeks. We still don't know in Senzel.
8 to 12.
8 to 12 weeks.
Oh, really? okay.
Yeah.
And then
it's definitely 4+.
540.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about that.
and then our good friend Tom Sizer. Our pitching is improved, but how much? How much is it improved? That's a concern. And Wood already on the DL.
All right.
I like Sonny Gray, how he's done in the spring.
Actually,
Roark has done
looked good
well
too.
in spring, and Disco's done well in spring. But Jeff Gilbert doesn't like spring, so I'm not allowed to say that.
I didn't say you can like spring all you want. I just said you can't go to the bank on it. You can't count. You can't make tons of roster decisions based on that.
But remember what I said in a text before. At least we're seeing numbers in spring that we haven't seen the past several springs.
I don't know. I haven't paid attention to them, so I don't know. What are we seeing that's different?
Kind of like that time we went and saw Disco pitch in Dayton. Balls flying all over the park.
Oh, for our...
Not necessarily over the wall, but in between fielders and all that.
Oh, okay. You mean for our guys hitting?
Yeah, for our guys pitching.
Our guys pitching. So our guys haven't been pitching well? But they have been.
In past springs.
Oh, in past springs.
I'm saying this past spring, I saw a difference in previous springs.
Right. I agree.
All right, so what's your number?
My over-under is 84.
Oh, wow.
And you remember earlier I was criticized for being negative?
No.
Way to be positive.
This guy over here.
Way to recover at the
end. Why are you so negative all the time?
Way to recover at the end of the podcast. Come back strong.
Thank you. 84. Now, I don't know if that's just hope or if that's, I don't know. I'm a fan, and I reserve the right to expect more than maybe is possible, but I just do. I think I'm going with 84. I think that would, right around there, give or take a couple, I think that's right where they are.
So I think the first half of this year is going to be really fun. I think we're going to enjoy watching it. You know how last year they started...
Oh, well, nothing could be worse than last year.
It was the worst. And the
year we almost folded the show. We almost got canceled by the networks.
Yeah. 3 old depressed Reds fans.
Yeah. So I think the first half of this year will be really fun. I think they'll be competitive. I'll bet you they'll be in top 3 in the league. Maybe even till the All-Star break.
Well, that's where we were 2 years ago, right?
Right, and that was fun. Remember how fun that was? The games were fun to watch. But then I think probably they'll fade as they go in the stretch. Get down to 82 games.
Okay. So what are you doing opening day, Tom?
Hey, I'm going to try and go to the game. I'm going to try and take my son. I'm going to the parade. We'll probably have some Skyline chili.
Oh, eat some for me.
And then we're going to go over and try and scalp some tickets at the ballpark. See if we can get in. I told Jeff earlier, the worst case is we can't get scalp tickets. We went to the parade, had Skyline, watch the game.
So what's your... why not go to like StubHub or SeatGeek? What's going on there?
So I'm checking out tickets on the services, and they've jacked up the seat fees. I saw $49 on SeatGeek. And
so
$47 on StubHub.
How much were the tickets?
They were starting at like $120.
With a $49 service fee.
Without the fee.
Plus a $49 service fee.
So you're talking at least $175 for tickets. So I figure I can go buy $120 tickets and save a ton of money. So we'll see how that works. I'll let you know.
All right. Well, we want a full report.
You got it. In fact, I'll come live on Marco Polo for you.
Yes, I want to see that. I want to see that. I want to see those tickets. So,
hopefully, I won't buy them, and they'll be like counterfeit tickets. And have you heard of that happening?
Yeah.
You buy them from scalpers. You go and they scan them, and the scanning doesn't work because they're fake.
Yeah. Well, take the guy's picture and get his
exactly.
That's a good idea.
Name and address before you walk away. So, what's the weather? Weather's supposed to be pretty nice.
In the 50s, yeah. So it should be good.
Yeah, it was chilly when we went last year.
It sure was.
It was pretty cold. It was
a little windy.
Last year, the first 3 or 4 weeks of games were cold. I remember the Reds had an early cross league game in Minnesota. It's like, oh goodness, don't do that.
Yeah, around the whole league. Remember, it was everywhere.
Cold. It was cold everywhere. Well, I hope that doesn't happen. Sun's shining on our little ville right now as we sit here on the Tuesday evening, but hopefully that'll be the case. So yeah, you don't want to be cold. You've been cold at baseball games before, right?
You really want me to talk about this?
I want this story. This is a good story.
So I was playing for my Liberty Flames, who went in the second round of the tournament, by the way, just in case anybody wondered.
Woohoo! Go Flames.
A-Sun.
From the A-Sun, first year in the A-Sun.
Otherwise known as the Atlantic Sun for those
so
of
back
you
in
who
the day
follow
when
basketball.
Back in the day when the skinny 6'6", 185-pound Tom Sizer played baseball for the Liberty Flames, we're at Old Dominion,
which is in
the great state of Virginia,
in Norfolk.
Yeah, and one of those freezing cold spring games, which baseball in the spring is the worst. And of course, I'm in the bullpen, and it's just. Back in the day, there weren't these beautiful college stadiums like they have now. So it's just a bench out with no cover or anything. So we're freezing, the cold, the wind's blowing. Old Dominion had put the old football turf on their baseball field. So it's all worn. It was really soft. I mean, you hit a ball, it bounced twice and then rolled because it was so soft. And so we're sitting in the bullpen just freezing. And one of us puts our hand on the turf and like, man, the sun's really warming this turf up because the turf is warm. And we're standing on the bench, like this, and
shivering.
We look at each other, and we're like, we got to get warm. So we laid prostrate down on the turf in the bullpen just to stay warm. And I'll never forget. Oh my gosh, I'm thinking, hope Coach doesn't look down here because
How many of you were lying?
There's three of us.
Three of them laying on the
turf. We were face down,
trying to stay warm in the bullpen.
You know, Larry Bird injured back, just trying to stretch.
That was it.
Yeah. So I thought that was a good story. He didn't think it was that good a story, but I made him tell it anyway.
Oh, he was just talking about how cold baseball games are in the spring. I remember.
Oh yeah, I don't because I just finished covering basketball state tournament, and he's like, "You gonna be covering any softball, baseball?" I said, "No, I don't. I'm not into spring sports."
You will in May. You could do it in May.
Well, May when it warms up, the early parts of the season is spring sports. I mean, nobody wants to be out there.
No, unless you're in the southeast.
Well,
right.
But we're not. So. So we're here, and so this is what matters. So I ain't going out in it. It ain't worth the money right now.
That's fair.
But yeah,
I do
you
it for free.
You get into playoff time, tournament time.
My daughter.
Yeah, you go watch your daughter play softball, and you get to. But that's
last week.
That's a dad thing to do. If my daughter was playing, I'd be out there freezing.
And this is my last high school sports season. Wow. My last one.
Well,
so I'm not going to miss a game.
Yeah.
Good time.
So we're sitting here in my house, and Tom and I are on folding chairs. Did you notice who we gave the rocking chair to?
The elder statesman.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very kindly.
All right. Anything else about this team? I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
They're going to win 84 games or more. I'm convinced.
We got to feel better than we did last year, so it's going to be great.
Oh, yeah. And, fuss about the Senzel thing, and I fuss about this and that, and we all have our little things. But overall, we're very much happier than – we don't want to be three grumpy old Reds fans here before the season starts. We're much happier with where this team sits than it has the last 4 or 5 years.
Looking back last year, our manager was Brian Price. Who is he with now?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
And where did Riggleman go? He went to some team.
Oh, he's a bench coach for. I just saw this the other day, and whoever the manager is maybe on thin ice. But somebody was like, "Oh no, don't make Riggleman the manager. He's a good bench coach, but that's it. Don't make him the manager." I forget where it was. I just saw it somewhere.
And Hatcher is no longer at third base, right? Is Hatcher the bench coach?
He's something. But they've changed so much. It's hard to keep track. We've talked about it on previous shows, but I can't remember all that stuff. We ain't getting any younger.
The different year.
Yeah, so we're ready for it. So
according to Wikipedia, Brian Price is nowhere right now.
Okay.
Yeah, he might not be. I'm not sure anybody hired him. He's nowhere. And Wikipedia is always right. There's never any problems on there. All right. Well, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, let's have fun at this season and enjoy watching the game and not skip games in the spring because they're 3-19. So
that'd be nice.
This will be great.
All right, good. Well, opening day is upon us. Tom, enjoy the parade.
Thanks.
The skyline chilly in the sunshine. Hope you find some decently priced tickets. Get in the ball game with your son.
Me too. I'm looking forward to it.
But most importantly, you have to bring home a W.
That's right.
Can you do that?
I'll do my best.
You'll do your best.
Riggleman is a bench coach with the New York Mets.
The New York Mets. That's right. So, you promise a W?
I can't promise, but I'm going to do my best. Is what I said.
What good are you? All right.
And you know what? It'll be fun either way.
We'll watch Fox Sports Ohio, and
I'll be the guy with the face paint and with my shirt off with my chest painted.
It's too cold for you to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't do it then.
Well, I'm just gonna sit here on the couch, Fox Sports Ohio on, enjoying Tom Brenneman. Maybe
you will not enjoy Tom Brenneman.
That's not my. He's okay. He just sometimes goes on a little too long about things, kind of like we're doing right now, trying to end this podcast. So.
All right. As all else says, we
that's right. This has been the 3 Old Reds fans.
Yay.
And now for the exciting finish.
Go
Reds!
That was awful.